I've prepared a poem for this episode. Roses are red, Polaroid Duochrome blue. Edwin Land was low-key a 10. You were watching In an Instant on YouTube. My name is Ben. Okay, that was very poorly structured. Today we're taking our shovel of knowledge and digging into Polaroid Duochrome film in celebration of the newest color release, Duochrome Blue. Now I have another poem to read. Edwin Land was a handsome man.
The kind of photography that would become part of the human being. Press a button and have the picture.
The mist of rich ocean blue. The searing heat of the blue flame. The cool snap of the blue ice. Duochrome Blue, the new fragrance by Polaroid.
Welcome to In an Instant. My name is Ben, aka Benny Bag of Blue Film, and in this episode we are chatting all about Polaroid Duochrome film, arguably the most unique film offering from Polaroid, and a special recipe for instant shooters who want to mix up their cameras every once in a while, or every time. If you are new to Polaroid and thus new to the channel, welcome home. Duochrome is a special edition spin-off of black and white film. It replaces the typical white layer of monochrome with a color, making it duochrome. To show you in practical terms what this looks like, we're gonna go ahead and cut one open. This separation process is something you might do in an emulsion lift. Video to come on that, I'm sure. But in this case, it reveals our blue layer and transparency. You could theoretically place this transparency on another color and get duochrome red, pink, skin, wood. Duochrome skin. I actively don't like that. Herbert, can we edit that out?
Yes, sir. I love you, and I'm in love with you.
In 2020, one of the only good things to happen was that Polaroid debuted Duochrome Yellow, which was the first special edition film since 2017's Blue and Pink to come out of our sweet house of film in the Netherlands. Prior to 2017, Duochrome was a staple of the Impossible Project, which offered various colors and produced plenty of unusual film types. Prior to the Impossible Project, I'm talking old school Polaroid, these sorts of fun film types weren't really a thing for 600 or SX70 film. They released various films that were branded differently, but they were pretty much the same thing. And they did some special edition frames for sure, some film with pre-exposed stuff on it, or even matte finishes, but you weren't really getting options like Duochrome back then. Through the creative options offered by the Impossible Project, lovers of the medium came to fall head over heels for unique emulsions and grew an appetite for some funky stuff. Now we've got it back and we're vibing. When I think of life prior to all these special films, it makes me sad.
We have to go back to 1944 to the very first concept of a kind of photography that would become part of the human being, an adjunct to your memory, something that was always with you, so that when you looked at something, you could, in effect, press a button and have the picture.
Damn, those boys were sad. Shooting with Duochrome is an interesting experience, and there are a couple things to look out for when you're popping off. First of all, one of the sweetest aspects of the Duo experience is that because it's using the black and white process, it develops really fast. Within like a minute, you're already able to check out how the composition came out and generally what the photo will look like. Still, shield it from light and let it cook face down, but it's nice to be able to get an early look if you're really trying to nail the shot. You know, a little sneak peek doesn't hurt. I found that as it develops, shots can look initially very overexposed, but as the minutes pass, the blacks deepen and you get really rich shadows. Speaking of shadows, the other big factor I've noticed with Duochrome is the narrow dynamic range of the film. Dynamic range means the latitude between your shadows and your highlights, and how much of that range it's able to capture. Duochrome is contrasty, and it can be easy to accidentally blow out your highlights, so I recommend leaning a little bit towards underexposure and making sure those highlights are saved. I mentioned this in our first duochrome video, but definitely look for contrasting light in your frames. If your scene is too evenly lit, the color can somewhat wash it out. Because we're talking about the black and white emulsion here, light is the main thing to focus on. Don't worry about really what colors are in your scene. Duochrome blue won't work better if you shoot blue objects or anything like that. An interesting difference though that I've noticed between the recent yellow and blue duochromes is that the blue is a far more subdued color, in a good way. It has a whole different mood to it. While the yellows offer a stark and bright pop, the blues are dimmer and softer, resulting in a mellower overall image. With Polaroid offering different colors of duochrome now, I found it was super hype to employ some yellow frames in the same shoot as the blue frames. My gosh. As you saw, I put those side by side and they just look beautiful together, especially the yellow and blue. And most especially Pete's mustache, which might be the most big for business thing I've ever laid my eyes on. That thing just sings. I always recommend shooting film quickly and not to sit on it too long, but it will be fun to save some duochrome colors for shoots where you might want to rock 2 or more colors and lay them out next to each other. Psh, who doesn't love this? This is solid shit right here. I love this stuff. Well, folks, I can't wait to see what you do with duochrome. Tag me on Instagram at the.instantgram, and I'd love to check out the ways the community utilizes such a fun film emulsion. And, of course, thank you for watching in an instant. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button so hard it turns blue. Stay tuned for more breakdowns, reviews, shoots, and all things instant. Bye.